I'm the teacher or the counselor for Friends class. So as it has been mentioned already, Mrs. Mgwagwa will present for you the honor for Christian grooming and manners. That's our lesson or the honor that we are going to do today. Some you have heard it before. There are some other things that can be new to you or you know them, but I hope you're going to enjoy the lesson as we're going to be together this hour that we are going to learn. Right, our next slide. Right, we're going to start looking about Pathfinder law. We cannot do away with our law as we've placed in the beginning of the year. We will continue with this until we are done. And once a Pathfinder will ever be a Pathfinder. So we will take this as we move on with our life. So we'll start with the first one that says, keep the morning watch. And in our grooming, it's part of our soul grooming. So we'll talk about praying, and we'll also talk about personal Bible study every day. We have placed that we want to do to keep the morning watch, to talk to God. So we will touch that on our soul grooming. Then we have do my honest part. As a human being, we have conversational skills, right? And when we talk about conversational skills, we are talking about the important part of socializing. So we are going to socialize with people, or we do socialize with our friends, our families, our relatives. As part of do my honest part, we are going to learn also something about how do we have conversations, how do we chat with other people. And when we talk about this word that is skills, some they can say, I don't know how to talk, but skills, it talks about the ability to do something. So if you cannot do it, you still have to acquire, you learn how to do it, so that at the end of the day, you are able to do it the right way. So we are going to also touch on that. Care for my body. We'll talk about body hygiene, exercise, diet. We have heard it, but we will talk about it again so that we continue to implement. If we were not doing it, then we change so that we can be able to do it. Right. The next one is keep a level eye. And keep a level eye, it also touches on interpersonal skills. What are these interpersonal skills? We'll be talking about behavior and the tactics a person uses to interact also with others effectively. How to do it the right way. When we are communicating with other people, we need to keep a level eye. And the reason why you need to always keep a level eye, that is attention, to have an eye contact, so that you won't lie, you won't cheat in whatever you are saying, because eye to eye, your eyes can tell. So we'll also talk about interpersonal skills. Then we have be courteous and obedient. Touch also on conversational skills. So I'll be kind and thoughtful of others. Directing and also the love of Jesus in all my association with others. So we'll talk about obedience and also being kind. Then last, we also have walk softly in the sanctuary. That's part of character. How is your character when you are in Christ, when you are in church, when you are with others? How do you do it? All right. We need to be careful. We need to be reverent when we are in sanctuary. So we'll also talk about character, which touches part of our Pathfinder law. Then keep a song in my heart. That's part of personality. So as individuals, we have our different personalities. We have our different ways of doing our things. Some, they struggle to be cheerful, but you can learn it so that you can be able to be cheerful and be happy and let influence of your life as you be as sunshine to others. So keep a song in my heart is part of your personality. How do you do your things? As Pathfinders, we look forward to see someone who's always cheerful, someone who's happy, who is a sunshine to others so that they can be able to see light in whatever that we do in life. Then the last one, it's go on God's errands. That's the last one for our Pathfinder law, and we'll be looking at Christian. We are Christians. That's why we are also in this platform. We are children of God, and it says, I will always be ready to share my faith and go about doing good as Jesus did. So as Christians, we want to follow Jesus' steps as what he did when he was on earth. So our first verse is from Luke chapter 2, verse 52. And it reads, and Jesus increased in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and men. So this summarizes everything that we are and that we are supposed to do. That when Jesus was on earth, he increased in wisdom, that is knowing more about God, doing the right things that we're supposed to do. And in stature, we are going to look at our body, what we eat, how we exercise so that we can remain in good condition in our health and in favor with God. How do we interact with God, and also how do we interact with men here on earth? So this verse, it summarizes everything that we are going to talk about in grooming and in manners. Right, so to start with, we're going to look at a spiritual good grooming. Right, spiritual good grooming. When it comes to spiritual grooming, I as an individual, I need to look into God's word daily for guidance, for encouragement, and for wisdom. So when you feel you are getting lost, you go to the Bible. When you feel you are being discouraged, you go to the Bible. When you feel you lack wisdom, you go to the Bible. The reason why we need to look in the Bible daily, that's where we can get guidance, encouragement, and also wisdom. Right? I look to God at myself carefully to see if I truly represent him. Which means daily when we wake up, we check ourselves. Am I representing God in whatever I'm doing? I look to God daily in prayer to cleanse me inside and outside. We need to pray on a daily basis when we wake up, during the day, when we're about to sleep, we need to pray. If we read Ellen White's book, I think Steps to Christ, it says we need to breathe prayer. So wherever we are, we can utter a prayer. It doesn't need us to kneel down, but you can just talk to God in whatever you'll be doing. Then John 3 verse 30, it reads, ye must increase and I must decrease. Another version says, he must become greater, I must become less. So when we look at ourselves, we must not forget that there is God who is greater, and we can become less. So we need to refer ourselves to the Bible. We need to pray so that we are strengthened. The Bible tells us that beauty should not depend upon our outward beauty. And yet, if we read Proverbs 31, that we are supposed to model after what we clothe, the scarlet and in purple skills. She had that look and bearing of a woman of quite elegance, befitting a queen or a king, a leader or a pathfinder. In most cases, it is up to individuals to express their own tastes, their own style of clothing, always striving to present a good appearance. I think when we go to shops with our parents, at times we would say, I don't want this type of dress, I don't want this type of trousers. We also, as we are growing, we have our taste of style of our clothes. But all this, we need to appear to be presentable, so that other youngsters also will look upon us, either your friends at school or some of your relatives, your sisters and your brothers, they also want to be like you. because of the way that you do your things. So on spiritual good grooming, I encourage you that you strive to be above, right, everyone in your life, either it's at school or at church or when you are playing, so that you will see that others can be able to follow you. Be a good influencer. Why? Because you have got courage, you have wisdom, and you have guidance that comes from the word of God. Still on devotion and prayer for good for your life, or to make it as food for your life. Our soul needs prayer. Our soul needs devotion. It needs the word of God. Christian character is demonstrated when you do the right thing, even when it is difficult. But in the practice of always telling the truth and put feelings of others ahead of your own desires, this will add compassion to your character. So the more you say the truth, the more you become better in your character. So we always need to make sure that we pray to God. All right? Prayer time. Dear God, please help me always to be kind, to be the kind of person you like to see. This is a prayer for everyone, I think, that we strive to be what God wants us to be. And we cannot do it alone, but we can be able to do it if we always commune with God, talk to God, and make God your friend all the time. We have done New Start, and we know what New Start is for. The importance of good grooming includes a healthy complexion and well cared for hair and hands. So we are going to look at our hands. We are going to talk about this New Start, just a nutshell, because we have talked about it in most of our lessons. So this is God's recipe for a good complexion. We said we need a complexion that is good in our healthy, right? So what is this good recipe that God gives us? We need a balanced diet, that is our nutrition. We need to exercise on a daily basis, at least find 30 minutes, maybe 3 times a week to exercise so that we keep our bodies fit. We need to drink water, a plenty of water, 6 to 8 glasses a day, so that it can cleanse our body. We don't just need to bath outside, but we also need to clean inside with water. We need also fresh air. So time and again, we need to make sure that we sleep. At times, you don't need to close all the windows if there is no ventilations, or yes, ventilations. We need to at least open a window so that there is a bit of fresh air that comes inside our home. So we need fresh air. We also need adequate sunlight, and we need adequate sleep. Some, they don't want to sleep early, and at times we wake up early again. So we need to sleep early so that when we wake up, at least we have slept 6 to 8 hours a day. Right. Then we also need to get rest. Today we have our rest where we get blessings from the Lord. So we need to get rest. That's why God gave us 6 days to labor, to go to school, to do our things. Then comes Sabbath, we rest. This rest is needed so that we can contemplate and have time with God. Then lastly, we need to trust in God. Whatever we have talked about, it is covered in trust in God. For you to sleep and wake up alive, it is only that we are trusting God, knowing that God is going to help us to wake up, and when we wake up, we do our things. So that's God's recipe for a good complexion that we have looked up on, and for us not to forget, that's the New Start. Then we said we're going to look at our hands and our nails. Attractive hair and nails as an important part of our grooming. All right? We need to shampoo on a schedule to know when do I wash my hair. If we have different styles of hairs, but we need to make sure that our hair is always clean. It needs to be shampooed. Find someone who cuts your hair well, right? Those who do their haircuts, we need to make sure that our hair is cut also on a regular basis and washed on a regular basis. Keep your hair care tools clean. Keep your hairstyle attractive. Those who style their hair, you need to make sure that it is attractive. Don't just leave it shabby. We have different hairs, we have different cares, but our goal is the same, to make sure that we keep our hair clean. Right, with our hands. Hands should be washed frequently throughout the day, especially after the restroom. And when we look at it these days, with this corona that is going on, we need to wash our hands regularly, not only after the restroom, but regularly we need to wash our hands, all right, so that we can be able to be clean. And there is something that I've noticed in this washing hands that we were doing. I've noticed that there was less flu and fever infections. So I've discovered that, or I've concluded that our hands carry more diseases or viruses in it. So the cleaner our hands are, the lesser diseases we can get. That's what I've just seen this year. I've been washing hands, and there was no flu with me, no sneezing. So it is very important. It must not stop this washing of hands only after corona, then we go back. But we need to continually wash our hands. It also makes us not to have diseases, right? Fingernails should be trimmed neatly, right? Using nail clippers. Do not chew the fingernails or tear them off, right? This is not smart, and also for our health, we need not to eat the fingernails. Use a nail cutter to cut your fingernails. Hope your parents don't struggle time and again to remind you that cut your nails time and again, and you're like, okay, I will do it later, and then your nails are becoming longer and longer, right? We need to make sure that we are smart. We take responsibility of ourselves time and again. So clean beneath the nails whenever you see dirty under them. If your nails are long, make sure that you clean them. But we are encouraged to have short nails. Cut them so that they are always short and they don't carry any diseases with you. Right, we move on to handshaking. Right, we know when we handshake, don't hold your arm out straight from the elbow. Rather, keep your elbow slightly bent. Lead with your wrist and turn the palm of your hand. I wish this we were doing it face to face so that we can practice, but I think the picture is showing a bit there how we are supposed to greet, right? Make your handshake firm and delivered with good eye contact and a smile. So when you are greeting someone, back to our law, our Pathfinder law, right? When we started, we said, keep a level eye. So when you are greeting someone also, make sure that there is eye contact, which indicates full attention. When you are greeting someone, you don't greet someone and you look somewhere else, but you greet someone, you have an eye contact, and make sure that it is a firm handshake with a smile, right? I know with this period that we are in, we are not handshaking, but when corona is over, when we are greeting, we need to follow this, all right? That's part of greeting. So we still encourage that eye contact when we are greeting someone. Importance of proper grooming. Why are we talking about this grooming? So we want to see the importance of grooming or proper grooming. A person with poor hygiene is unpleasant to be around. Foul odor, dirty clothing, and gross things stuck between their teeth tend to drive people away. Most people will not take a habitual or unclean person seriously and will instead do everything they can to avoid that person. It is very, very difficult to be an effective witness of your faith under these conditions. So with this statement, if you appear clean all the time, you're most probably taken serious. Though as Christians, we don't need to select people to say we want only people who are clean, but we are saying treat everyone the same. They want you the way you also want to be treated. And take note of this. I'm saying cleanliness is next to godliness. So when you want to go and share the word of God, make sure you are clean. You have brushed your teeth so that when you're talking to people, they see your seriousness from the way that you present yourself. And it is easy for them to receive your word, to hear what you are sharing, right? So it is very important to make sure that you are clean, you look smart, so that when you are sharing the word of God, people will also take you serious. And there are few social clues that are below there. Be on the lookout when you go out and you are witnessing as a pathfinder, you are sharing with your classmates at school. Be on the lookout for a social cues, all right? That indicates you may have a problem, right? If someone is continually averting their eyes from you, they don't want to look at you, or you find them staring at some part of your face other than your eyes, discreetly excuse yourself and have a look in the mirror. Maybe there's something on your face and they cannot point or say to you, but their eyes are saying there's something wrong maybe with your face, or maybe your shoelaces are not well tied. Their eyes can communicate with you. So you must be able to either look at yourself so that you can be proper, and they cannot concentrate on how you look, but they're able to concentrate on what you are saying. Check your teeth and make sure your face is clean. If a person offers you a piece of a gum or a breath mint, it may be a polite way of caring, right? Or curing your bad breath. So they are trying maybe to say, there is a bad smell that is coming out of your mouth. Maybe if you chew this gum, maybe there will be a freshness that comes out of your mouth. So there are also different ways that people can communicate in a polite way to indicate there's something wrong, right, with the way you are presented. So the proper response when someone has showed a care to you is a thank you. Accept that breath freshener without asking, why are you offering this to me? Perhaps you would rather not know. At times it can discourage you to continue presenting, but if you just accept and say thank you, it's also a good way to respond. Let's look at our address. Modest clothing and God. There's a saying that says, modest comes from a godly heart, not a checklist. Get the internal right, and the external will follow. So it starts from within. Whatever is within, it will come out. I like this last part that says, get the internal right, and the external will follow. So it won't be difficult to know, how am I supposed to dress? How am I supposed to look in front of people? Right. The Bible reminds us that true beauty does not depend upon outward adornment. And Proverbs 31, when we read it all, it says, the vicious woman was clothed in tapestry and scarlet and in purple silk. She had the look and the bearing of a woman of elegant befitting, a queen or a leader or a pathfinder. So when you know the word of God, when you read Proverbs 31, it shows this woman knew God. You knew how to look after the body of the children and the family. All right. So as children also, we need to know how to look after ourselves. We can even remind our parents if they are now doing the wrong thing. Because of this lesson, let's remind them, I must dress modest because I'm a child of God. Right. Choosing to look good. We need to choose on our own to look good. Right? Our aim should be to look well, put together in clean, appropriate clothing. If we succeed, those following us see us and not our clothes. So there are those who have a fear to stand in front of people. No, mommy, people are going to look at me. If you don't want people to look at you, to listen to what you are saying, make sure that you are looking well, right? You know how to put clothes on yourself. It doesn't matter, it's the same clothes that you wear every Sabbath. As long as your clothes are clean and well ironed, then people will listen to what you're saying because you are already presentable. They don't look with a question, why is this person dressed like this, right? Treat your clothes well and they will serve you well. Learn what colors complement your natural skin and your hair colors. Keep clothes clean and ready to wear. So what is important here to look good is to make sure that your clothes are clean, right? As we are growing up, we are also learning how to match our clothes. I think you are even better than us. You know this color goes with this color. So we're saying when you are dressing, try to see what complements, what fits you, not what fits someone and you also want to have it. Know what fits you and then it will complement your body. Right. Then lastly on this part, time and money savers, right? I'm just going to teach you a bit there. We need to save time, look well groomed, make sure that we have our shoe polish, and also to make sure that we have somewhere to keep our items. So what do I mean by save time and money? We need to learn as pathfinders. I remember last year, the group that I had, we learned how to sew, though few attended. As pathfinders, we need to learn how to sew, to take a needle and a thread, sew your uniform if the hemming is getting loose, right? The edge of your trousers, the other side is hanging and the other side is still attached. Take a needle and learn to sew, to do hemming. And all those who want to be taught how to do this, you are welcome. I will teach you how to sew with just a needle. It doesn't need to be a machine, just a needle and a thread. It will help you to be able to what? To make sure that your clothes that are torn, they are fixed. Your clothes that are loose on another side, they are fixed and you look presentable. It doesn't need to make sure that your clothes, when it is torn, then you want to throw it away. Some of the things can be amended and you can continue to wear that. So as pathfinders, I'm challenging you, you need to learn to do this. I have seen your parents at times, they bring something. Can you do this button for me? I believe every child or every parent can do some of these easy things so that we don't waste our money and also save our time instead of going somewhere. You can do it when you are indoors, right? But those who don't know how to do it, come and I will teach you how to sew so that your uniform that you go with to school, it is in condition, all right? So we need to have a what you call my personal grooming checklist. On your own, have your checklist. Is my skin fresh and clean? Am I wearing a deodorant to those who want to use these deodorants and perfumes? Are my teeth freshly brushed? Each and every day we know we are supposed to brush our teeth. Is my hair clean and well groomed? Are my hands and my nails clean and smooth? No one must tell you this. It must be a list that you have on your own so that each and every day you have your personal grooming checklist. Then you also need to have my appearance checklist. Mr. Chenge, can you move my slides? Right. My appearance checklist. All right, we have done that one. My personal grooming. Let's move on to the next one. Right, yes, my appearance checklist. On this one, you are saying, are my clothes appropriate for the occasion? Either you're going to church or it is a birthday party. You don't go with a uniform to the birthday party. So we're saying what you are wearing, is it appropriate for where you are going? Whether you're going to school, to church, any event that you are going for, you need to have the right clothing. You are going for hiking, you need to wear what is appropriate for hiking. Do my clothes fit me properly? Is it not big or it is now too small? What is small for you, you need to give it to someone else, right? Are my clothes clean, neatly dressed, and are they in a good repair? Right. On this part, I will talk about our socks, our school socks, our church socks. Some when we are from church or from school, we throw one socks there and another socks there. Now when you want to wear your socks, they are now one. You don't know where is the other socks now. Then you take another brown socks and another black socks, and then you wear. When others notice this at school, now you feel uncomfortable because they are now laughing at you. So I'm saying, before you leave, when you're at home, make sure that your socks, they are always together, so that when you wear them, you don't feel uncomfortable when you are with others. Right. Are my shoes polished and in good repair also? Right. So with our shoes, who's supposed to polish our shoes? Is it you or your parents? Some, they will be saying, but my shoes are not polished. It is your responsibility to make sure that what you're going to wear tomorrow, it is ready today. You polish your shoes for tomorrow. Don't wait for your parents to do this. I think we are all, as long as you are now a Pathfinder, you can do these things. You polish your shoes. When you wear them tomorrow, you are proud of what you are wearing. All right. So those two lists, they can help us to be confident. You know, when you are dressed properly and you know that I'm fit, you are confident with whatever you're going to say outside. And people can believe what you are saying because of your confidence. Let's move on. When you stand in front of the mirror, ask yourself before you leave and you want to go somewhere, is there anything about my appearance I would change if I knew I would meet Jesus along the way? So wherever you want to go, ask yourself, the way I'm dressed, am I going to be glad to meet Jesus and handshake with Jesus and sit with Jesus next? And I won't be shy with the way that I look. If your answer is yes, then you have confidence in whatever you're going to say or to do outside. Right, done with dressing and our appearance. Let's look at our body, the benefits of good posture. Do you see that picture that is there? The way you stand, the way you sit, those postures, they are not good for our health, right? When you stand, you need to stand upright. When you sit, you need to sit upright. There are benefits to these, right? Good posture does the following. Let's see the benefits of a good posture. If you're in a good posture, it optimizes your breathing. You breathe properly. You don't struggle with your breathing if you have a good posture. It affects the circulation of bodily fluids. So if your posture is not good, it affects the way the blood, the water is supposed to be sent where it's supposed to be sent. All right. If you sit properly or walk properly and stand properly, it reduces back pain. Some, they struggle with their back pains. Check your parents, how they sit. Or some, when they're at work, the chairs are not comfortable, so the way they sit is not upright, and it affects their back pains. They have problem with their back. Right. Good posture, it protects the joints from the strain. So it will help you to have a good health all the time. Right. In addition, good posture, it expresses confidence. So the way you sit or the way you stand, it shows your confidence. Either you are not confident with what you are saying, so the way you are sitting, it is not, you are not proper. It's as if maybe you want to run away or you want to sit down, so you don't know where you want to be. So we are saying, if confidence in what you want to say, right? It is considered as an integral part of physical attractiveness. So if you sit upright and you're talking to someone, either it's face to face, you're talking to someone, even on the phone, you need to make sure the posture is upright. It improves the body's ability to carry heavy loads. So when you are carrying something and your body now is not upright, the load that you are carrying, it makes it more heavier than if you were upright. So if you are upright, the load that you are carrying at times, it won't be that heavy. Then it protects against spinal deformity as a person ages. You see, those who are elderly, when they are growing up, they struggle with the spinal bone at their back. Why? Either because when they were young, the way they were standing, it was not good. The way they were sitting, it was not good. I'm going to read Education, page 198, the book Education. It says here, among the first thing to be aimed at should be a correct position, both in sitting and in standing. God made man upright, and he desires him to possess not only the physical, but the mental and moral benefit, the grace and dignity and self-possession, the courage and self-reliance, which an erect bearing to tender to greatly tends to promote. So when we are sitting, it's even written, if you are sitting or standing, we need to make sure that we do it with a correct position, because it helps our physical, our mental, and also our moral benefit. So we need always to make sure that we sit properly so that our health condition is good. Also, whatever we are saying is going to come out well. The way you sit at times, if you're crouching on a seat, it also takes some of the words. So when you're pronouncing, it doesn't come out well. So even when you're at school doing your presentations, make sure that you are upright, whether you are seated or you are standing, and your words will come out clearly, loudly, right, and legible. People will hear what you are saying. All right. Then let's move on to table manners. Since our lesson is on Christian grooming and manners, we also need to look at manners. I know we have learned a lot on this part at school, but allow me to touch a bit also on this part. Right. When we're talking about table etiquette, the word etiquette, it just means manners. All right. So table etiquette or table manners are the manners that we use when we are eating. Right? And here it says a properly set table. How we need to set it. There's a picture that shows how we are supposed to set a table the right way with what you are eating, right? Bread plates, there is a plate that is right or left there. To the left of the main plate, beverage glasses are to the right. We can see that on the picture. Salad fork needs to be there if you have salad. A knife and a soup spoon are further from the main plate. That the main course, a knife and a fork and a spoon. So we have these things, and we have a dessert utensils that are either placed above the main plate or served with a dessert. Then the sharp edge of the knife blade faces the plate, so that when you hold your knife, it goes straight to what you are going to eat. Right. I think we are familiar with this. This when we are eating. It's part of our exercise that I'm going to give at the end, how we are supposed to set a table. So I'm going to give you your activity there on what you need to do, and it needs to look more alike on what is on that picture. Then general behavior when you are sitting and you are eating with other people. Always chew with your mouth closed. We know this. It's not nice to give sound mwah, 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 when you are eating. It's boring to those who are beside you, and it's not good manners. We close our mouth when we are chewing whatever we are eating. Do not talk at an excessively loud volume. When you are eating and you have food in your mouth, don't even talk. Make sure you have swallowed whatever is in your mouth so that you can be able to talk. Refrain from coughing, sneezing, or blowing nose at the table. We know at times it is uncontrollable. Don't sneeze in front of the food. Make sure you just choose your face to the other side so that you can do it, or else leave the table if it allows. But at times it is beyond control, but make sure you close with your hands so that it doesn't go to someone else next to you or to the food that you are eating. Never tilt back your chair while at the table or at any other time. So when you are eating, don't move the chair. Make sure you're well settled so that you can be able to eat. Do not make unbecoming noises while eating. Some they play with the fork, some they play with the spoon at the table while they're eating. Avoid all this. We want to concentrate on eating and to concentrate the way we are chewing our food so that we can enjoy our food without any disturbances. Do not play with the food or the table utensils, like what I've said. Food is for eating and utensils are for using to eat our food, not for playing. Do not single out or chastise someone who has shown poor table manners. It's a privilege that you are learning about table manners. So some other people that you are going to share a table with somewhere, they don't know these table manners. So don't single them out like, how are you chewing now when you are in the middle of eating? Let them finish, then take them aside and tell them how it is supposed to be done. Do not put your elbows on the table or slouch in a it is acceptable, however, to rest your forearms. So some of these things, they what do you call it? There are some backgrounds. It depends where we are coming from, and our cultures are different. So some they don't mind about you putting the hands on the table, but some they don't want to see people's you are eating and you are as if you're sleeping on top of the plate. Sit upright and eat your food so that it goes straight for digestion nicely. Do not always ask the host or hostess to be excused before leaving the table. So when maybe you've gone for it's a birthday party and now you want to leave the table, ask to be excused. Just excuse yourself and then go. Then you can be able to come back and join others. Do not stare at anyone while he or she is eating. You have forgotten your own plate. Now you're looking at someone the way that they are. When other people are eating this, they beat the plate and the spoon, and all the time, whenever it's taking the food, there is a sound that comes. Maybe it has taken your attention, but you are saying, don't look at someone while you are eating or while they are eating. Give that freedom to enjoy their food. Right? At times, some will be choked because of the way you are looking at them. Then lastly, never talk on your phone at the table. The phone, this technology, it is disturbing even our lives, even at the table, even our devotions. So yeah, we are saying even when you're at the table, do not talk on the phone. Leave the phone so that you concentrate on your food. When you are eating, it is the the missionary of the stomach. So make sure the stomach receives this food without what? Any disturbance. Then when you are done with your eating, then you can be able to carry on being on the phone. So we are saying, let's try by all means to put it aside, enjoy your food. Each and everything it has got its own time. So if it is time for eating, let's have our eating. When we are done, then we can go on the phone. We must not be slaves of the phone. I've seen even when I'm at work and teaching my students, they cannot do without a phone. They want to be busy pressing those buttons time and again. Learn to have time for the phone and have time for schoolwork, have time for church work, have time for everything. Don't be on the phone throughout the day to be a slave of the phone. Right. Let's move on. Right, we are going to look at if you want to use your gift of speech to God's glory, what should your prayer be? There are people who can talk and talk, they are so blessed, right? We learn that we have different gifts. So there are people who have a gift of speech. Let's see what is the prayer supposed to be. Psalms chapter 19, verse 14, it says, may the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing in your sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. So this is supposed to be our prayer. If we know we have a gift of speech, whatever we are going to say, whatever we are going to meditate, may it please God. It must be something that is pleasing. Let's not talk when we are not supposed to talk. Let us be polite in whatever speech that we are going to say. Be honest in whatever we are going to say. If you have said any promise, make sure that you keep that promise. As our God who is faithful will keep his promises. So let's also do whatever pleases God in his sight. The proper way to talk to other people in public, we are talking about speech here, whatever we are saying outside, how do we speak with our adults? How do we speak with old people in public? Those who use public transport, how do you speak with them? Do we say good day, madam, good day, ma'am? Or we use we say our language of today. What's up? Yeah, you are greeting an older person. Hola, you are greeting an older person. How do you greet as a child of God? To those who are outside, to our elderly people, even if you don't know them, they are standing next to you. How are you supposed to greet? Greet to an extent that they will ask you, where do you come from? Because they don't see this happening, someone greeting in a nice way. Good afternoon, sir. They don't know that language. Let us teach them so that they can also see that, okay, this is how we are supposed to do it. With an eye contact, obvious, we have said it when you greet someone, show an eye contact that you have concern in what you are saying. Right. So we need to be respectful in our speech all the time. Don't say I will do it only when I'm at stage. Even when you are in public, wherever people are, do it with respect. Learn to have good listening skills and communication skills. We have said we learn how to talk. Learn to listen before you respond, which is very, very important. And also learn to talk only when you're supposed to talk. Don't just talk all the time, talking. Learn to keep quiet. Use your ears. Learn to talk. When you are talking, make sure you are also respectful. Right, in talking, we have here accepting what we call constructive criticism graciously. Right? Proverbs 12 verse 16 reads, a fool is quick-tempered, but a wise man stays cool when insulted. A very important verse. Don't rush to be angry. Here it says, but a wise man stays cool when insulted. So we are going to look at accepting constructive criticism. And when we're talking about constructive criticism, we're talking about a criticism or an expression that corrects you in a positive way. So when someone is telling you, no, my child, we do it this way, it doesn't matter if it's not your mother or your father, but someone who's elderly, and they are correcting you somewhere, right? Make sure that you take that graciously. Don't be angry, but listen to what is being said, and then find, okay, I've made a mistake here, so I need to correct it like this. Don't be angry when someone is correcting you. So when someone gives you some unsolicited advice or unwanted advice, remember that you are an ambassador of Christ. You are a Pathfinder. Respond in a nice way. How can we respond when someone has said something to us? We need to say either, thank you for sharing that thought with me. Instead of being angry, just respond to that person in a nice way. Either you say, thank you for your analysis, depending on what they have said. Thank you for caring enough to point this out to me personally. So they have told you, they did not say it to someone else. So thank them. So the next time you don't repeat the same mistake that you have done. Or I appreciate your comment and I'll give them some thought. That's how we are supposed to respond when someone is given what we call constructive criticism. A criticism that assists you for a better change. So when people are correcting you, don't try to defend yourself, especially with your age. I know there are changes that are happening to you, and at times you're like, you don't understand. I know what I'm doing.
but learn to appreciate, like what Proverbs says, a fool is quick-tempered, but a wise man stays cool when insulted. Listen to what has been said. As a child of God, receive and be prepared to receive these criticisms. Then take time to digest what were they trying to say. Where can I be able to change? Then also in life, as we are growing up, we get a lot of compliments. How are we supposed to receive compliments gracefully? Someone is commenting you, maybe it's the way that you are dressed, maybe the way that you speak, right? How are we supposed to receive these compliments? A simple thank you is sufficient. Just say thank you. Don't say a lot of words. Compliments are gifts. When someone is saying good things about what you've done or the way you look, it is a gift, like someone who's just coming with something in a box and giving to you. That's the same with compliments. So receive them graciously and simply say thank you. It is enough, right? None of us enjoys being criticized. It's good when everyone is giving compliments. Yet we seem equally uncomfortable with praise. At times, you are even shy when someone says, well done, you have done well, your speech was good. Let us use some compliments to illustrate to us how we are supposed to receive these compliments. There's something that I want to share here. If someone says, that's a lovely linen suit that you are wearing today, they are coming to you guys with the suit that you are wearing, or it's a lady, they are commenting on the costume that you are wearing, and they say, oh, your linen dress or your linen suit you are wearing today is so nice. Listen to these compliments. Now you are responding. What? This one is an old one. It was my brother's. Or someone will say, this is not linen, it's rayon. You are correcting. We don't know these types of materials, and you said a different one. And instead of thank you, you are now saying, this is not linen, it's a rayon. Or it's a hand-me-down from a sister. You see, you are telling them, but we are commenting it is nice. So here I'm teaching you that when someone compliments something nice, say thank you. Don't give a negative comment to what has been said. It is very important to receive these compliments. They also encourage us in whatever we are doing. So a simple thank you is very, very enough. It is sufficient to what compliments that we receive. Right. How do we address people and make proper introductions? Right, you are with your friend, you meet another friend, and the friend that you are with doesn't know each other. So in our friendship, we need to introduce. Don't just start playing. Introduce your friend to someone so that they will use their names, right? And your response when you have been introduced indicate, nice to meet you. It's a pleasure to meet you. Let's respond so that when we start having a chat or playing together, we know each other. So make sure that we learn to introduce one another so that we can start having conversations. If there is no introductions, it is very difficult for me to start having a chat with someone that I don't know. So you are the one who knows both sides. So try to introduce so that a conversation can start. Right, close to our ending of this presentation. We also need to learn to avoid some of the questions that we ask. So, as we are with our friends, let's not tease other people. Let's try to have a sense of humor. Yeah, it says, do not comment on any physical defects in a person or ask personal questions, right? We don't know the background of some of the people that we meet. So learn to avoid a lot of questioning, which makes other people feel uncomfortable, feel belittled, or at the end of the day, some they will have low self-esteem. They won't, even if you want to say, can you do this presentation? Can you pray for us? Because of that question that we asked before, they don't want to do anything anymore. So let's try to avoid and have that prayer that we did, that Lord, help me to have a speech that is acceptable in your eyes, right? So these are some of the examples of the questions that we are not supposed to ask. When did you last have a shower? How much money do you make? We are still young, and some people they get money from their parents, and some they don't have. How old are you? We don't ask these questions to our older people. How old are you? They will tell you their age when they want to tell you their age. But it's not respectful to ask older people their ages. That's how we grew up. Like we were told, don't ask a older person their age, or to ask how is your mother if you don't know the person. If you know the person, you know the parent, the mother is at home. But if you don't know, you need first to understand if they do have these, their parents, all right? Because at times their parents are no more. The moment you ask how is your mother, they need to first narrate and explain what happened to an extent that now they don't have a parent. So we need to learn to avoid some of the questions if we don't know the people that are with us, all right? Instead, maybe you have seen that someone is smelling, they don't, it seems they have not bathed for a lot of days, right? Try to just bring a soap and a towel as a gift to this person to show that you have a concern with the person instead of asking, when did you last shower? Give a gift so that at least they can see the message that you are sending to them, that there is lack of bath within you. Right. So as we are growing up, let's learn to find ways to speak with the people of our age so that at the end of the day, they have their self-esteem. You don't lower someone. Right. Why Christians should practice good manners? Why are we supposed to talk all these things about compliments, about how we are supposed to speak with adults, how we are supposed to do it when we are on the table? Christians should practice good manners because they are ambassadors of Christ. Wherever you are as a pathfinder, you are an ambassador of Christ. You are standing in for Christ. So you are preaching wherever you are. So we need to learn to have good manners so that people can see Christ in us. And they also want to come to this church where you are taught these good manners. So having good manners is also another way of preaching. So that even some other parents, they can admire the way you do your things, and they also want to send their kids to this pathfindering. And at the end of the day, you will see that even the parents will also be part of the church. Why? Because they have seen good things in you. Rudeness, on the other part of a Christian, reflects poorly on all Christians. You know what? When we are not doing the right thing, wherever you are, and when you say, no, I go to Seventh Day Adventist, they will wonder, what kind of a church is that? So they will say, no, 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 I don't want to be an Adventist. Adventists, they do 1, 2, 3, only because of one person who was misbehaving. So we are saying, you are only one person who have wronged, done wrong, but now everyone, all the Adventists, they are part of these wrong manners that we have done. And you have tarnished the image of faith, and you have also tarnished the image of God. So we are saying wherever we are, let us make sure that we practice to be responsible with our bodies, to be responsible with our speeches, the way that we do things. Let us make sure that we take note and we know we are ambassadors of Christ. And in conclusion, we usually see ourselves as we think others see us. But your own self-image is so much important. Remember that you are unique. You are a unique lady, a unique gentleman, a child of God, worth of good care and personal development. So in accepting yourself and being yourself, you may just be in a pleasant surprise. Remember, when you act like an ambassador, walk like a pathfinder, and look like a leader, people will want to follow you. You might just be a wonderful person if you do these things. So in a nutshell, all that we have learned is wherever we are, let us remember we are ambassadors when we are talking, when we are walking, when we are seated, whatever we are doing. Someone is looking upon you and they want to follow. And when they are following, let us allow them to follow the good work of Christ. So this is what I have to talk today. So for our work that we need to do to complete our honor, you are going to dress properly, or you find your own way of dressing in your best of you. And you take a picture, let your parents take your picture, and then you're going to set a table for your own dinner. Either you're going to be taking a picture with your dinner set up, and you send that to your counselors on WhatsApp so that we can compile this, and then your honor will be done. So we have done the theory part. We want to see the practical on what we have heard about your hair, your nails, how we are supposed to look and appear as children of God. This is my presentation that I had for you. I want to thank you for listening and giving me this time to talk to you. I'll hand over to the director.
All right. Thank you very much, Mrs. Mugoga, for the lesson that you have given us. I'm giving this time for questions. If there are any questions, please feel free to ask, and then we can respond and give answers to the questions.
My question was, what do we actually have to do to complete the honor?
All right. To complete the honor, our assignment now is you're going to be dressed properly in the best of you, right? Then you take a picture and you send it to the counselor. And the second part is you're going to prepare a dinner, right? For your plates, like the cutlery that I've shown you, then you take a picture of that. So each individual, a picture of yourself and a picture of your table setup. Only those two. Then you send that to your counselors through WhatsApp.
Okay, thank you.
The part where Mom Gog was talking about how we should cut our hair, what does she mean? Does she mean that we must like have clean heads with no hair, or should we like lower it and trim it and stuff like that? I didn't understand that.
Thank you for the question. You will get a response just now.
Right. On the cutting of the hair, for the boys, your hair needs to be short, obvious, right? A style that makes you look like a child of God. So it depends if you want not to have hair at all or you have short hair, but your hair needs to be clean, cut clean as a boy. For the girls, if it is long, make sure your hair is clean. It is always washed. And if you are styling your hair, and you make sure that your hair has got a good style. So I don't have a definite style of cutting your hair, but I'm saying when you have your haircut, make sure your haircut is also sending a message to someone who's next to you.